Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the camera? How do you see me? Do you see what's on screen?
See. Yes, I see. Yes,
Okay.
I see you. I see our goal. I see you.
Okay. Now, if I switch it, do you see the difference? Now I'm a little square on the bottom left, and there's a big white page.
Yes, I can see the white page.
So it's all working.
Yes.
It's all... Hey! It's working!
She lives!
It is alive! Awesome! Okay. So, sorry for the technical difficulties there, folks. Should have tested this last night, but I guess it's hard to remember to look at the camera, not at the screen. There we are. Anyway, so, yes, Don Higgins, live stream on Facebook. I don't think it's going out to YouTube. I'm not sure. But live stream on Facebook, and I'll have to check the YouTube later. But, wow, yeah, stop looking at the screens and start looking at the camera. Don Higgins, illustration live stream. This is the 18th illustration live stream, and I have decided to try and do something a little differently. And of course, this is when the phone decides to ring. Anyway, illustration live stream. I am working through OBS software, and I still have my technical person, so I will still be fielding questions if you want to ask a question, make a comment. But the whole live stream wasn't necessarily the big something special about today, although doing it this way is a little different and a little special. The main thing is that there is a piece of equipment here that I'm going to be starting to use in front of you guys. I just got it like a week or so ago, but this is my Cintiq Pro 24 hooked up to my Mac Pro system. And it is a thing of wonder. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm going to be doing a couple things that I haven't tried yet while on the live stream with you, but I'm going to be using this, and hopefully, if everything goes right, showing you digital sketching and digital colorization of an original piece of artwork that I've done. Let's talk about first. Give me if anybody's watching, give me a comment. Make sure the microphone's working. Everybody can hear me. I want to make sure that's a relevant thing. That I want to make sure everybody's. I'm not just sitting here waving my hands around and sending smoke signals. But let me know if that's working so that we can address any technical issues that may still be coming up. Let's see if I can do that. That's better. Yeah. All right. Well, somebody just walked in the front door, and there's a bright shine coming through the front door suddenly. Anyway, lots of technical stuff that we're going to try and figure out here, but hopefully everything's working. So, like I said, if you can comment in and let me know if everything's running and you can hear me, that's good. I'll do my normal thing, credentials. I am the art director and art lead for FASA Games and their 1879 line. I also create the Webcomic Champions Challenge for their Earthed Online, as well as the webcomic and graphic novel for Hey Penny Pie in their 1879 line, playing in those sandbox. I also work for Fireside Creations. That's one of the pieces that I'm going to be working on in front of you here. is a piece that I've been working on with them. But I do a lot of work for the gaming industry and things of that nature. And right, let's get to work. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to show you, re-show you the sketch that I initially did for the Fireside Creations piece. This is a piece for dwarves, a line that they're coming up, and they wanted a dragon being shot with magical weapon. They said there was a bright piece of magic power in the center of the stone area. That initial sketch went through several variations of sketching, but finally we went to this, and how that happens. That's all in graphite pencil and things of that nature. But from there, that piece went to, and here we get to go to the Cintiq. Here we go, guys. Wish me luck. Boom. And we're going to go to that image. Boom. And that's how that gets put onto the Cintiq. Fun stuff. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in here. You can see over here. I'm going to duplicate this layer. Hello. Give me my duplicate. Try this again. Ah, there it is. Hit OK. And then that one I'm going to set to multiply. Then I'm going to turn that off. So now I've got two different layers that is the drawing. And I'm going to add a bunch of layers. And that. And I'm going to do maybe two more. These are going to be my color layers. Alright, and I'm going to put copy here. I'm going to take that image right there, that layer, and that's where I'm going to start laying down color. Now, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to find my skin tone. And then I'm going to find my tool that I want to work with. The brush that I'm, hit OK. And I'm going to go to the brush. No. Let's go down on brushes. Soft round, come on. And start laying down color. Any questions, any comments, Techie?
None so far.
Is there anybody even on with us?
It's just you and me right now. I'm sure someone's touching.
How do you know which color palette's going to be?
What do you come over here and say that again?
How do you know which color palette is going to be?
Well, I know it's going to be a lot of earth tones. I know that I've got to have magics that are going to be taking place. So there's going to be this type of a situation, this area, and here is going to be bright greens and so forth. Because I don't have a set background for this piece, that tells me that it's going to be primarily about earth tones and colors, and this is how I picked my palette for this: the bright color for the magics, and then earth tones for the dwarves. Why earth tones for the dwarves and their equipment? Because they're dwarves and they spring up from the earth. If you believe that kind of folklore. By the way, I don't think she realizes it, but that's Tony. And she's in the shot and walked right into it. That is
Bye, guys.
that's my art director and my Fiancy.
And there is the chihuahua.
And now she's running away.
I'm so sweet ass stay.
Uh-huh. So,
But I figured I'd ask the question about your color palette.
I appreciate that. Who told you that?
Nobody.
Really?
Really.
Wow, that's great, hon.
And the poor
Very astute question.
And the poor shivers in country. Where is that point?
Yeah. He was looking forward to lying down, cuddling up with his mom. So that's Shivers on the couch there. Shivers is our barking rat, otherwise known as a Chihuahua. And he is true to his name, Shivers, because he does all the time.
And he's only got one eye. So he looks very good in a pirate costume.
Mm-hmm. He had a medical issue a while back, and we had to remove or have an eye removed. So, if anybody comes online, hopefully they can tell me. Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
What?
Take my iPad Pro. It's right here, honey. Or go onto your... No, you can't.
Your iPad Pro.
Take my iPad Pro, unplug it. Both plugs. Go onto Facebook. Let's see if you can ask a question. I'm going to do something similar.
Want me to run a question too?
No, because you're going to be looking for a question.
I'm not alive for questions.
I get to right
Okay. Are you on through Emma's account, Amber?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm on yours, but I don't know how to do it.
And I think if she were to activate the live stream, the function on that, I think she can really sort of like another.
Okay. So don't. Yeah. Don't do anything on Facebook. Wish there was a way. I don't even know if I'm going out into the world. I'm assuming I am.
You are. I can see it.
And you're on Emma's account, not mine. Okay, so that would tell me that progress is being made. Now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go a little bit darker. What I'm using, as I said before, is the Cintiq Pro 24, Photoshop, creating an image of dwarves fighting a dragon with a magical item. Something here. Well, I do see that I've been live for 16 minutes. Okay, so, and there's 2 people on. Okay, so, alright. I'm going out there, it's just a matter of nobody's looking at me today. I don't know why.
They're gonna look at you, it's just gonna be later on after you're up. They're just not active right now.
Besides, today's been awfully nice. Perhaps they're taking naps.
Possible. So, I'm laying colors down in here. Now we're going to go a little bit darker. We're going to get a little tighter. Come on, a little more. There we go. And we can go even a little bit more dark. There we go. I like that. This piece was a lot of fun to do. I have a very healthy respect for a gentleman artist by the name of David Thorne Wenzel. And his work on a book called Kingdom of the Dwarves. And as I said, I've been a fan of his for years. And when the opportunity at Fireside came up to work in a dwarf environment, magical dwarf environment, I jumped on it because I have been enjoying drawing dwarves ever since the first time I saw Mr. Wenzel's book, and I managed to get myself a copy of said book. And years later, when he went back into that universe to republish with new and adding new pieces to that book, I was one of the first people in line to sign up for it, and I had the great fortune of going to Gen Con that year, and he was showing at Gen Con, and I got him to sign my copy. And it is one of my most prized possessions.
What is it about dwarves that you like?
I don't know, and I don't know if they heard you. You want to say that again?
Oh. What is it about dwarves that you like?
I wish I could tell you. There's people who would say that my father, although he wasn't a dwarf, had a look to him. They said he had a stone face. And there was something about some of the images I saw in David Thornton Wenzel's book that reminded me a lot of my father. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not calling my father a stone-faced ogre or anything else like that. I'm just saying that there was just something about the look of the dwarves in David Thornton Wenzel's book that reminded me of my father. Now, I've changed over to a red or pinkish color, and I'm going to bring that opacity way down. I'm going to do something here that I saw Brian Froud do in a lot of his works. It just added something to the look and feel. I think I'm going to raise that opacity just a bit. Just to add a bit of color here. Just adds a little something. We're going to go over here. That same that's what I forgot on the other guy. Oops. I wish I could tell you, Amber, why dwarves fascinate me in such a way, but they do. And,
I thought it would be the history for you.
well, possible. I hadn't thought of it in that nature, but I do like Norse mythology more than any other. They do have that kind of a feel to them. This guy's going to be more red. Because the big thing about this piece is that this guy with the animals, this guy right here when I initially drew him, there wasn't a whole lot to. He was just kind of standing there, and he was facing away, leading the pack animals here, the oxen. But it dawned on me. Come on, other way. That there should be more to him. For the main reason that there's a dragon up here. And those animals would not be calm, and there ain't nothing he can do that's going to calm them down because there's a dragon up here in the air. So he's going to be angry, yelling back at his friends here to hurry up and get it done so that the ox and the animals will calm down. I also wanted it to look like these animals are kind of backing up into the cart. That's why it's kind of tipping, so that it has that kind of a look or feel. So there's a lot still to be done on this piece, but oh man, why am I so thirsty all of a sudden? Anyway, I wanted to give him a little bit more anger and umber in his face. So that's why I'll go back and give him even some more. And because even though this is going to shrink down, I think I'm going to hit this on some level here. In a little while, I'm going to go back and hit some of these lines, get them a little bit harder. Now I'm going to go in with an opposite or complementary color to give this a little bit more depth. There we go. Now if you look, you'll see that I went to a green palette or a green color because I didn't want to use black. But I wanted to give it some shade, and green is going to give it a nice radiance on it. Let's back that off a little bit. See how that shades that in a little bit more? Gives that some real depth. Kept that red against the green so that it stands out a little bit more. Everybody, if you look at a picture of yourselves, everybody's got a little bit of green to their tint. To the tint of their skin tone. Just a little bit.
Why is that?
Because it is how color comes across. I mean, if you're in a green environment, it's going to come up a lot more green. But because the green in your pigment is part of how you can see the shadows. Now, I'm not speaking science, I'm speaking art. I'm sure there's people out there who go, that's not why, and that's not the reason, and the science says, well, that's science, not art. For example, Miss Science over there, my techie, what is black?
Black is the absence of light.
The absence of light. The absence of all light. Do you know what black is to me?
It's all color mixed in once.
Yep. all the color. So you ask the right person, you're going to get two different answers. So why do people have green tint in their skin? So that the shading is more relevant.
As far as plants are concerned, they absorb all colors except green. That's why when we look at it with our eyeballs, effectively, that's most plants will be showing that color to us, rather than because they're using the rest of it for photosynthesis.
I see. After I get this in, I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit some of these areas with some more red. They are coming out a little bit too green now, even though there's going to be some green. There is going to be some green in my valley. So now, I've done this.
What about the ear?
Good catch. Well done.
I figured you were gonna try and get back to it eventually, but
I had forgotten about it completely. And his neck.
Is it showing?
not big yet.
Right there. Underneath his earlobe. Well caught.
If Aaron was watching you now, he'd probably go, ha ha!
No, because I know several times people have caught him, so he appreciates.
I just remember you mentioned that you had caught it on him one point.
I did. Doesn't happen very often, but I have caught him.
When you switch color palettes, how do you know you get the same color that you used before?
By eye. If it didn't match, I would have to go back and fix it till it was. It takes time, it takes experience. So I know the basic area of where I want to be visually. Hello. There we go. All right. Oh. We're going to go up to here. I forgot his lip. All right. Now I'm going to hit a couple of these areas. This is the wrong brush. Take some of that out. There we go. And now we'll do that. That. There we go.
Is there a height difference between a hobbit and a dwarf?
Yes.
Hobbits are taller, I believe.
No. Dwarves are taller, but only by a little bit. Some of these areas so they stand out a little better. Because this is blown way up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom out. And he shows up a little clearer. Zoom back in on this guy. Give the same kind of treatment to him. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of these other layers, and I'm going to put in some come on. Why is that not giving me what I want? No, no, no. Nope, nope. That's why. There we go. So it's gotten lost in the color. Giving that old man white hair to this guy. Doing him in a sketch as opposed to a painterly look. A couple of white highlights on here. that is how that is achieved. Different layers, because I'm going to be separating this into different colors once I go on to different parts of the drawing, but I will start with my skin tones. If I can get those right, then I'll move on. But I have to get these right first. Because if these aren't right, there's no point going on. And now we're going to go up to this guy. A couple little hairs coming out of his ear. Now we're going to zoom back out again. They're really starting to take shape. Now we've been on here for a while now, but I'm going to switch gears. First thing we're going to do is hit File, Save. Always save your work. Always save your work. Oh, by the way, and you have to be quiet, Amber, because you're a history and that kind of buff type of a person. But there's something I've done here on this piece. I carved some runes into that ring of power. And I'm curious, zoom in here after it's done saving. Here we go. If anybody catches what I've carved into the runes here. This is very specific. It's not just random carving. I got very specific, and I'm curious if anybody is able to catch what's carved in runes on this magic item. I got a long way to go on this piece, but I'm making fine progress, and I like what I've done so far. This has been a lot of fun, but the other side of the coin on this project, or not this project, but what I wanted to do today, I'm going to go to a different page, and I'm going to work in a way that's familiar to me for paper. Get my screen clean here, and I'm going to bring up some. There we go. And I'm going to change the size of it. And there we go. And let's say I wanted to draw from my new, or from the webcomic that I work on, webcomic, soon-to-be graphic novel called Champions Challenge. It's set in FASA Games 1879 line. And Bizette, otherwise known as Mopsy, and you'd have to read the comic to understand how he got his name Mopsy. But Bizette is a Trang, and my interpretation of that is this character. So, yeah, let's just go play around here on this. I've never actually drawn him on here, so I'm going to actually try and draw the character Bizette, otherwise known as Mopsy. And just like I do on all my comics, I start with a blue line. I'm gonna try this with a different marker or a different brush. And we're gonna hit that. And yeah, I like that better. Alright, so basic shapes. Let's see. What do I want to do with Bizette? I know. Alright. We're going to do a quick thumbnail up here. And I want to be doing something like that. Now, thumbnail is just for me, remember. It's a quick understanding of what I want the body to be doing. Figure out where my sweeping lines are going to be. Yeah, that's an idea. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start with basic shapes again. These guidelines are only for me. This is not setting up a final drawing. This is just part and parcel of how I put a piece together. That. Neck. Talk about sweeping lines now. A sweeping line is that line that the whole body follows. Allows you to get that movement. And it's not, again, look at this. I'm not doing just one line. Now this line feeds to that line. This line feeds to that line. Now those two lines, those are my hinge lines. Those are the lines that are always equal and opposite to each other when you're drawing a figure. If your shoulders are doing this, your hips should be doing that. If it doesn't, you don't look right. It just doesn't look right. So remember, they're only guidelines, so I don't have to have exact on that line. That's why there's a bunch of them. So start thinking about the legs. Start thinking about the angle, because I want him to look like he's coming down. So there's that area where the comb of this character, because that has that does that, has to be in the right spot. And look how many places I've changed it. Again, these are my roughs. These are my rough lines, my guidelines. He is knees here, here. Because he's Strang, which basically is a lizard guy. He's got different kinds of hands and different kinds of feet. Got the foreshortening to figure out here. Got his tail. Upper arm. Foreshortening in the forearm. There's the hand. There's his forearm and how it all comes down to there. Foreshortening hand. This is going to be this way. Bring that tail edge up a little bit. Got that. Has anybody commented at all? Hello? Amber! Has anybody commented at all?
Nobody.
Amber is back there sound asleep. I don't know why I pay her to be my techie. She's over there asleep at the switch. This area here, we always got this issue. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer. And change the color to black. And let's see if I can figure something out here. Try out a couple of lines with that new line. Oh, it's thinking. Okay. I'm going to change that up. Change that No, no, no. No. Let's find the right pen, folks. No. Let's find the nice brush. That one I like. There we go. That's a nice pen. And we're going to thin that in even more. Zoom in here. Again, I'm going to start with the eyes. Try that again. There we go. Ooh, I don't like what that's doing. No, no, no. No, no, no. Let's try this one. See if it does the same thing. It does the same thing. There we go. No, 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 no. Get a real treat, guys. You're getting to figure out how I am going to do this. Let's try this one. Let's say I want to do that. And I want to do that. Still not 100% sold. Don't like those. Let's do this. And we're going to hit this with that. Rats.
You'll figure it out.
Come on. I'll find the right brush here eventually. I know. Let's do this. until I find the one that I like. Still not there. No. 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 Ha ha ha. I'm gonna go with this for right now. Alright. Always change the opacity later.
What differentiates a lizard's eyeball from a human's eyeball?
There are several different biological parameters. The eyelid and lids, for example, that kind of thing could happen. Where you have some kind of protection that an alligator has. But I have not put that into Bizette's makeup. think I've got some things to learn as far as brush selection, brush setup. What I've got here isn't exactly what I want. But it's allowing me to do some things and show you how I put some of this stuff together. Let's zoom out on that. You can see how he starts to come together. Close, far away. I think one of the things I've got to figure out is how to find the right brush that allows me to go to pen or paintbrush. This particular brush doesn't allow me to do that. It's just a brush, period. So what I'm going to do is figure out which ones are going to allow me to go to pencil or pen. And brushes and that. Aha. Let's try that. Ooh, that's interesting. No, I don't like that. No. No, don't like that. That's different. That's awful pixelated. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Da-da-da-da-da-dee. Wow, that's pixelated. What do I mean by pixelated? Pixelated is all those little jagged edges. If you let's try and zoom into this. See how all those little rectangular shapes, that's pixelated, and I don't like it. So let's try a different setting here. No? Now if I had this on, it is on brush. Odd. So let's try this on pencil tool. Let's see what I get. That's, oh, what I want. Hum, 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 hum. I wonder if that. Interesting. End tool. No, no. No. No, 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 that's not at all what I want. No, let's go back to what I was working with. No, that ain't it. Like I say, this is going to take some time before I figure out how I get this to work the way I want it to. No. Hmm. That's silly. And the right thing. Jimmy. Well, that's more like my pen tool. Hey, go figure. We're almost there. Let's do that. Hit OK. Let's go back to where we were. Zoom back out of it. How's that? That is looking much more like my inks. And that's how, I guess, you learn to do different things. Experimentation and playing with it. That is exactly what I've been doing. How am I doing for time? Yeah, I'm almost at an hour and a half.
It is 3:31.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one a day with all the different technical aspects that we've had to deal with this. I think I'm a ways away before I'm ready to start doing the comic on this platform. Lots of experimentation to continue with. I like some of the things that it's doing, but there's an awful lot of stuff that I need to figure out still. But it's a good start. Starting to learn, starting to figure some things out, but I like this one was coming out a lot more than I like what I've been doing here for the past 45 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do is call it a day. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. God, I hope this has actually gone out. And I appreciate everything. So, as I said before, and I've said multiple times, be nice to each other. Be patient. Be safe. Be healthy. Be smart. And as far as my philosophy of drawing, I'll follow along with that philosophy of drawing, as I always say. Draw what you see, not what you know. Me? I draw dragons. Why don't you? Bye.